Hello my friends and welcome back to Game Time. Got Sega Week, we're still going on with that, and in this particular video, another Fantastic Four series. This is where I take a look at gameplay, just a couple minutes each, of 4 fantastic games for a particular console. In this case, it's for the Sega Master System. We're going to be taking a look at 4 games that probably 2 for sure get some attention, and hopefully 2 maybe you'll be introduced to for the first time. But anyway, on today's episodes, we'll be playing a couple minutes of Time Soldiers, a couple minutes of Astro Warrior, a couple minutes of Choplifter, probably one of the better versions of it, and a couple minutes of probably one of my favorite Master System games, actually, definitely tops for sure. Outrun. Boy, I love this racing game. So you can see a couple minutes of each video. And I encourage anyone to, if you're a huge fan of the Master System, check out Mighty Q Dog's video. He does a top 10 or his 10 favorite Sega Master System games. I try to maybe not include, I think 1 or 2 might be similar, but I try not to include some of the similar ones that we both like and whatnot, just to make this video just a little bit different at least. And obviously I'm not including great games like Sonic or the Fantasy Zone series or Phantasy Star, because those are very well known and I think a lot of people do like them already. So I'm going to show off maybe some ones that don't normally get shown off, if that makes sense. So stay tuned and we'll see some great, fantastic Sega Master System games next on Game Time. Okay, first up is Time Soldiers. This is a particular game where I like. It's very similar to like a game Commando and Rambo that's on the Master System as well. I kind of like those sort of shoot 'em up games where you're not necessarily in a spaceship, but you're more just a soldier, and we got different periods of time that this game takes place in. For example, we start in the primitive age. And here's our character. We move kind of slow in the grass, but once we get out, we move a little quicker. So I kind of, right off the bat, I kind of like that feature. And here we're fighting cavemen who are throwing axes at us. I think we're going to see some dinosaurs here. Yeah, so we got that. I know the next stage is in the Roman era, I believe. I might be a little mistaken. This is also an arcade game as well. Of course, this is kind of a little bit of a watered down port to the arcade game, but I think it looks pretty good. It's definitely colorful. It has that sort of Sega colorfulness look to it, if you will. You know, the NES games kind of have tend to have some of those thick black outlines. Sometimes kind of makes some games look a little I don't want to say bad, just a little more muddied or whatnot, but we don't have those thick black outlines on these Sega Master System games. So it's pretty simple. Just the D-pad moves me around. This button's to shoot. The other button's just a rocket. I think we're going to have a boss battle. Oh yeah, big dinosaur here. Going to use our rockets. Want to dodge these, so you kind of see it's a little bullet hell-ish. Not super challenging, but your character moves pretty slow. And everything else on screen moves pretty quick, so I keep wasting my rockets on. I should be just doing this. There we go. I was being pretty silly. Well, we located a nice warp scanner. We're going to go to the next stage, so you kind of get the idea of that. This is yep, Age of Rome. So pretty much the same thing. We're going to be dodging Roman soldiers next and some of these weird creatures. A lot of it's in grass, it looks like. So, and we're going to see like modern ages. We're going to see, I think there's a World War stage in here. There's a futuristic stage near the end. So I think all in all pretty interesting. Definitely worth checking out if you have a Master System. I think it's a great port of the arcade game. Next up, Astro Warrior. This is a fun little spaceship shooter. I actually got this one not too long ago, and it's very basic. It's not even quite as spectacular as some of some shoot 'em ups you'd find on the NES at the time, kind of like Star Soldier, and even I think they even had a great Galaxian port on the NES. Zaxxon is great on the Genesis, and I think NES had a good version of it too. But this is one you normally don't hear about. It's like I said, it's pretty basic. It's nothing too wild, but it's kind of a fun. It's not even too difficult, at least not in the first few parts here. So even a novice or someone who's not fully paying attention to what's going on screen, like I'm doing right now, should be able to get pretty far into the game. Fun music, good patterns here. And again, kind of shows off a lot of that good old Master System colorfulness that we don't get on too many systems at the time. So yeah, like I said, it's pretty basic, nothing too special, too extraordinary. But I think that's good because you probably won't find a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of other retro gamers talking about it much here on YouTube. So it's a good chance to show it off, I think. So yeah, Astro Warrior. Fun times. Alright, next up a little ditty called Choplifter. This one's for Mighty Q-Dog. I'm not going to play it nearly as masterful as he can. But again, I encourage you to check out the his little top 10 or 10 favorite Sega Master System games on his channel. I'll provide a link in the description below, by the way. Forgot to mention that. That is a quintessential list for any Master System fan or collector. And I recently did this game for a Fantastic Four Atari 7800 games as well, to which I really liked it on the Atari 7800. I still do, but I think I said even on that video I felt the Master System version's a little bit better. I can hit B button here to kind of rotate my chopper. And the object is, I'm just trying to get to these bases here. I gotta, oh dear, I can dodge that plane. But the door to the base I'm trying to blast open, and there's going to be some soldiers that are coming out that I need to rescue. I'll get it this time around. Oh, one turret remains, but that's alright. We'll get them on the way back. So I'm blasting this door open here. It's a little loose. So we blasted the door open. We can get these soldiers here. Want to watch out for the planes trying to dive bomb us. Now we have tank. So I think we got a couple soldiers for sure. Oh, and down they go. But the object is, hey, I didn't claim I was great at this game. But I'll give it one more try. The object is you do want to try to bring those guys back to that spot you just started at there. I'll try it one more time. They should be waiting for us. Not all of them though, so I'm not going to get as many points as I should. Tank's coming. I'm going to back it up. I need to, that screen kind of screws you up sometimes there. Gonna watch for that jet coming back so it doesn't blast me again. We made it this time. We had a rough go at it, but we're back. So anyway, as you can see, we just get points for unloading them off at the base here. The last one usually says thank you. There's a few more to rescue. I'll try to get them real quick. But you kind of get the idea. There's just some jets you try to shoot down. There's some turrets on the ground. There's some tanks that are going to try to blast you as well. And you can crash by slamming into the ground. But there's a couple more bases, and as the stages get on, you're going through caves, you're landing on aircraft carriers and everything. So very interesting game. Definitely a very great version of it here on the Master System. I see why it's one of Mighty Q-Dog's favorites, and it definitely is one of mine as well. Here's those aircraft carrier stages, by the way, and I'm not playing, as you can see. Much better play. But yeah, Choplifter on Master System. Last but certainly not least, one of my favorite Master System games is Outrun. I think you want to do Splash Wave, I think is the best song. But yeah, it might look very arcadey. We're going to start it up here. We got low gear, but we're going to shift it into high. And now we're cruising. So yeah, if you played like Pole Position or any of these early um, racing games, well, late '80s types racing games, you'll probably, you kind of see how it goes. It looks like the screen kind of flashes and gives you the illusion that you're going pretty darn fast. And you're here with your girlfriend and kind of racing to the end of the stages, but there's a branching paths, what makes this pretty unique as well. Um, you'll come to an eventual fork in the road. I'm going to try to get to at least one. It definitely takes a few minutes to get through the entire game, but there's a fork in the road and will lead to two different paths, and you kind of keep choosing these. So by the end, you're choosing several different paths you could take. This first part is always sort of the beach, so you're always going to start here, but it will branch off into two, and those two will branch off into two. So you kind of get how that goes here. I'll speed it up here. Kicking into high gear. We do have a time limit, but once we get to the fork in the road, we pass it a little bit. So here we go. We choose left or right. I'm just going to choose left. We got 15 seconds. I think we'll be able to make it. My biggest gripe with the game is going in between that previous stage and this stage here. It takes quite a bit of time. That checkpoint always gets close every time. But as you can see now, we sort of have a more of a plains area, whereas previously we were on the beach. Here we're just kind of more cruising around the Midwest, it seems. Some mountains in the distance, few hills here and there. But you kind of get the idea. It has a great soundtrack to listen to. Controls very well. It's pretty simple to control. Visually, it's very pleasing. I like the colors for it and everything. So definitely one of my favorite early racing games, and definitely one of my favorite games on the Master System, period. So, hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully, the main reason why I do these videos, hopefully you found one or two that you like seeing that maybe you weren't too aware of or never really seen in action before, and now maybe you'll want to go and try them out as well. If so, I did my job, and that is good. So, I've been Kyle. This has been Game Time. Thank you everybody for watching the video. Subscribing if you've done so. Definitely not needed, but always a bonus. And we'll see you in the next video. We have one more video to go for Sega Week. I think you'll like it, so stay tuned for that. Everybody, peace out and happy gaming.